It's doing it. It's going. It's going live.
Okay.
It's doing things. I think we're live.
Yeah, I think we're live.
Welcome to Cloud
Woohoo!
Underground.
Yeah, this is Fridays on the Edge. This is our very first Friday event here in the Cloud Underground Facebook group, Cloud Native Engineers.
Yeah.
If you missed this live event, don't worry. You can drop questions in the comments, and we'll address them in our next week's Friday on the Edge session.
That's right.
So
every time,
we're here for you guys.
The comments you leave, we will answer those. Yeah, but just like you said in the next session.
Yeah.
So,
just so you guys know, if you don't already, I'm Laura.
I'm
Anderson
Nato.
Riley. This is Nato Riley, and we are here.
That's right. So, I guess to throw back a little bit to 2020, we had started something called Free Coaching Friday, and
Yeah. With
that
our
was
previous group.
Yeah. So that was something that it turned out that we enjoyed doing it. Other folks really enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
And so we decided.
It was great to just kind of pop in and chat with everyone in the group once a week and see how things were doing see how everybody was doing and
That's right.
answer questions and just really connect with everyone, because that's what we're all about, is having a good, fun community. So
That's right. So we're bringing it back. So
Bring it back.
For those who are unfamiliar with the format that we used, and I think the very few of you who are actually in this group, because I think there's not many just yet anyways, because we just started fresh.
We've got a few people who were, I don't believe...
Maybe some new ones?
Yeah, maybe some new.
So for those who are new to
Might
the
not have been part
format
of
that
the
we do in
initial
Facebook,
squad.
yeah, we just jump in here and then you ask questions and we answer them, and it was before more about getting into cybersecurity.
Yeah, it was more kind of job, career coaching focus, which is why we called it Free Coaching Fridays, obviously. And this group is much more focused on cloud development. It's a little bit more for advanced engineers, though we of course would love to help anybody who wants to get new skills. We can always point you to resources. We want to welcome everybody to this group, but just a little, heads up is we are focused a little bit more on cloud computing and edge computing.
Yep.
And hence Fridays on the Edge.
So if you have cloud questions or
Yeah.
edge questions, and both cloud and edge require security, so if you want to know security, that's still part of cloud. So it's it's not that we don't do security more. We are very focused on DevSecOps. And really, even last year when we started talking about DevSecOps is a lot bigger than just security. And so it made more sense for us to focus on, the full potential of DevSecOps, which brings us to going full on into the modern technologies of computing and development and apps and hosting and too much of everything. So cloud and edge.
Yeah.
So I guess for those who aren't familiar with edge computing, I guess let's start with, because Laura's so much better at giving basic explanations of things.
Oh,
At
goodness.
a Laura explanation, what would you explain edge to be?
Well,
Laura?
I think I barely just got this. It has to do with. Oh goodness, you're really putting me on the spot. We should.
Yeah.
With this.
We got this.
And showing people how little I actually know about edge computing.
She knows more than she thinks.
I don't know. It has to do with networking, cloud networking.
Yeah.
And using resources from multiple machines in different locations?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the idea of edge is that, say, when you think of cloud, you have to have a computing environment. And generally speaking, those computing environments, if you have a data center, that data center is in one location. Sometimes you might end up having data centers that might operate over multiple locations, but generally it's a data center. It's bam, it's the data center, it's in this place. Edge suddenly says that, well, you can have the data center and then another part of the data center somewhere else, and then another part of the data center somewhere else, and then all these different remote things that all operate together as one data center or one giant computing ecosystem, as if it was one location, but it doesn't have to be with edge. You could think of how in the world would a self-driving car connect to the databases for the self-driving car to know where it's going, know what's going on, and have updates. And, that self-driving car, when it goes into areas of outages, it has to still be able to drive through those outages and then reconnect with the connection, as it goes through, and, constantly be able to receive those updates, maintain those updates, because, if we have self-driving cars on the highway going 60 miles per hour, that's not, it's simply unacceptable for that to fail. So edge computing is sort of like a further evolution of cloud, where it's like, cloud data centers and the type of compute that you see in places can exist anywhere and anything, even if connections in places or on certain types of devices like cars or boats or whatever, I don't know, whatever, still works.
Yeah.
And it operates like a data center. It's pretty interesting stuff. So anyways, since this is the first time we're doing this, and we do know that the group is really small, these will be after 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time sometime. At some point, we'll probably find like a specific time that we'll try to do these and whatnot. But like, we're just so busy that the one thing we can guarantee is that by 5 o'clock, we might be done doing what we're doing. And the sooner we're done with whatever we're doing in our mad, chaotic lives, then that's when we start this.
Yeah.
And so, Friday's on the edge. I think it's also kind of fitting, because it's like Friday after a long week, you're kind of on edge anyways, because it's just like, here we are.
But yeah, I feel like that's why we like to do this, is because it's like almost a way for us to like decompress and like
it's like the unwind
down from the week a little bit. And
it's like the lowest pressure point of the week.
Yeah, just like hang out and have a fun time and talk about all the fun things.
Yeah, we don't have to worry about revolving giant contracts, and we don't have to worry about like hitting special target. Like it's this is like the one thing that has like no expectations other than it's Friday and it's sometime after 5 o'clock.
Perfect.
That's the best you could possibly ask for.
Yeah,
these
so
days.
that's where we're at the end of our weeks, is we don't want to have the pressure of being like, we have to be on at like 5 p.m. every Friday. We will be here every Friday.
we will be here. We will be here
when we're able.
That's right. So, but yeah, and that just kind of goes back to, we did really enjoy doing these in the past, and it's kind of funny because like at first it was kind of like this session right here where there was like, sometimes someone would pop in, sometimes someone didn't pop in, but then the group grew, and then it started getting like more active. And then, like, it's ever since we stopped doing it, it's been kind of weird that we don't do it anymore.
Yeah, well, everybody in our old group, like, definitely, I think, missed it and felt it when we kind of...
Everyone's been missing it, too.
Kind of quit doing it. I mean, we had I think one of our last events was, like, a holiday party that we did. And then we both had COVID, which was not very much fun. And it lasted a while.
Yeah.
And then by the time
long.
we recovered, it was like we were moving in this whole new direction of like moving from, Notia Point to Cloud Underground. And with that, evolution, we kind of, are going away from Notia Squad as well. We're not so focused anymore on like cybersecurity business coaching and cybersecurity skill development, though, like Nathan said, that is like obviously an aspect of DevSecOps and an aspect of cloud native and cloud development is DevOps and DevSecOps. So security is still a piece of the puzzle, but
exactly. And I do want to say it's thanks to we have an official admin of the Facebook group who builds and makes this news. This group's going to be way better because I was never good at Facebook. Laura's never good at Facebook, and so Randall Massey is
we're
now.
We're good at streaming and like videos, but we're not so great at like the daily posting.
We're so bad at the daily part. Like we're good at just like showing up at the end of our chaotic work lives.
But that's why we've added an amazing team member / admin.
Yeah, so we have a
Randall Massey.
The best
shout
admin.
Out to the most amazing CIO anyone could ever ask for.
He's the CIO of Cloud Underground, and the
full of all the
DevSecOps Dojo
He's going to be sharing all that information with all of you, too, in the Facebook group.
It's kind of funny. So one of our primary things that we do, so for anyone who wants to know how to work with us in general, I run on Thursday something called the DevSecOps Dojo that is open for applications at this time. And so anyone who wants to join the DevSecOps Dojo, the thing that we do there is I teach people how to build and revolve cloud assets, which sounds just as boring as it really is. It's really like a lifestyle and career choice. Like, do you want to build revolving assets? It's basically like building houses, but virtual. Because cloud is its infrastructure. It's not a whole lot different from building like scalable skyscraper structures or something like that, just like digital. And like, how does the math work? How do you monetize them? And once you monetize something, how do you scale it? How do you make sure that it's poised for scale? So for folks who want to learn that stuff, we do that in the DevSecOps Dojo. And I will say that it's also thanks to Randall Massey that we have the DevSecOps Dojo, because that started with just conversations that we had in the Facebook group. It was thanks to Free Coaching Friday that we ended up meeting Randall, had a bunch of conversations, discussions. The DevSecOps Dojo is born of that. We just like nosedived into making a lot of these things that we have now made happen. Now we can finally kind of like start talking about what we've actually done, because we've been working so hard that there's been no time other than to just put our noses down and work. And so now it's like we finally stopped working and we like sit up and we're like, oh my gosh. So we've built a new technology. We're like getting that out to the market. We are like there's like so much going on, and then now it's like I have this giant contract that I work on. So it's really just a lot all the time.
It's fun though. It's good. We really enjoy everything that we're working on, and
we love it.
Which is why we do so much.
Yeah, so content sometimes takes a back seat.
Yeah.
But we do like this too.
Yeah, definitely.
It makes a big difference. Good times. So, but yeah, I wonder if all the chat things work. I feel like this chat over here just doesn't work.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to.
It never seems to work. The chat, anyways, that's besides the point.
Just gotta pull up a different screen to monitor the chat.
Facebook things. But anyways, we are now that we have a lot more of us who are really dedicated to making this program grow and all of this, like we have so much more support now. We have like more of everything. So now we can actually start to kind of make these things a lot more organized, a lot cleaner, a lot better, and get back to the streams and stuff. And I liked doing like game stuff too. So one thing I might open up is we might do like some engineer and gaming time.
I've been playing some. Super fun. That was something we talked about with Free Coaching Fridays, but it never actually happened. So maybe it's time.
Maybe it's time to get into the gaming.
Start. We gotta. Well, we are working on. Do you want to talk a little bit about what?
Oh, do you want to grab the server?
Yeah, I'll grab it. I'll get the trident.
We're building a Minecraft server in our newest. We're building a Minecraft server in our newest version of like basically the most ideal Olympiad we have for like basically trying to run a whole business or something along those lines, which is like the trident, which this was made by Jordan Anderson and his handiwork. And then him and Laura effectively have built this, which is what I'm going to be building Minecraft on. So they're like hey, look at this.
Talk a little bit about the Minecraft.
What I'm saying is they're like, look at this beautiful thing that's designed for like business applications, and like, what do I ended up wanting to do with it? Minecraft. Like, that's not. I mean, it's not what it's built for, but it'll run Minecraft. So
absolutely,
that's what we're doing. So on this thing, it contains a Jetson Nano for access to pseudocores, and then it also has, because Jetsons have RAM and CPU, then that's compute. And then it has 2 Raspberry Pis, which are more powerful in the processor and have more RAM availability than the Jetson Nano. And between the two of them, then we're going to use Kubernetes to basically emulate a Minecraft server, which is typically something that's not compatible with the hardware that we're using. But because of emulation, and emulation's amazing, and I love it, we're going to emulate, what you would normally not be able to run on a Raspberry Pi or a Jetson Nano Minecraft server on that thing. And then on top of that, we're going to have 3 locations that we're going to host these things at, so that, if one of them goes down, then Minecraft will keep running. And so we're going to build a mesh, and so then that's going to be Edge Minecraft. So what that is when we first start the Minecraft server, that's going to be cloud. And then as soon as we start getting the Minecraft server running in multiples of our locations, that's then going to be Edge Minecraft, because it will be living as one server in multiple locations, basically over a minimum of like 9 nodes, which is the equivalent of like 9 computers. Like that one box we showed, that's basically 3 computers. And we're going to add another one that'll be 6, and then 9. And then we have more parts to add, so we're going to end up with at least like 12, 13, 14 nodes, and then we're going to run Minecraft on top of it. And it's going to be amazing. Oh, and we have a lot.
Host Minecraft parties.
That's right. And so we can host Minecraft parties here in the Facebook group on our own Minecraft server. And that's something that we're building. So if anyone's like into that sort of stuff, like wants to build it, we decided it makes more sense to let the really intense stuff like that be in the dojo. So you want to learn that stuff, you can come to the dojo and build with us all day long.
Definitely.
That's what it's for. And then for those who are just fine, just having fun with the stuff and experiencing what was made, this is where the fun part is. We can have fun here, while the dojo's where it's rather intense. As a matter of fact, just to give you an idea of intense, I was up for I don't even know how late last night, but longer than I want to be working on anything ever in my life. just basically like reconstructing data. Just because that's DevSecOps Dojo stuff. Now that's because we're producing some content, but the kinds of skills that we teach are like business skills for maintaining your assets, and so we have to maintain our own assets, and so one of our drives started going corrupt, and so we had lost a lot of our production, which is like hours of work and days of planning just like lost. And so because I'm a forensic specialist and things like that, then we just reconstruct our own data. Now don't get me wrong, it takes forever. That dead drive, I'm sure I'm going to have to go get more off of it at some point and probably rip my hair out.
Time to start migrating all of that data.
But when we build the Minecraft server, we're going to build self-healing hard drives to where every single...
Don't worry about that anymore.
Mm-hmm, every single drive that... every single drive that basically runs Minecraft will have a minimum of 3 hard drives. So if one drive dies, then there are 2 other hard drives still keeping Minecraft running. And that's called a Phoenix server. So not only is it a cloud server, not only is it an edge server, but it is also a Phoenix server where, as long as 51% of the existing infrastructure or resources or any of that stuff are running, it just keeps running. We could have an entire outage in one of our regions for like a whole day, and Minecraft will keep running as long as it's only one location, because the second you have more than 2 locations or more than 2 nodes, 3 nodes, 3 locations, things like that, you expand more and more, then, losing 1/3 is still more than 50% of everything running. And boom.
Huge advantage. It's a huge advantage of cloud native.
Minecraft will just never go down.
Yeah.
So we might host conferences in there.
Mm-hmm.
We might just have our own conference that lives in Minecraft land because we made it. I don't know. We can do whatever we want with our own Minecraft server. So I guess, and that's the joy of building your own cloud assets, because if we build our own Minecraft server that we can invite people to, and stay in the terms of Minecraft, of course. But it's just inviting people in to check out this cool stuff that we made and hang out is just like a social spot just for social purposes. And, whatever, having a good time. Whether we might be teaching or something like that. But, hey, we built it. We host it. It's not like the host is going to threaten that they're going to, turn off our Minecraft. It's our Minecraft server physically.
Yeah.
So we don't really have to worry about that. So, anyways, that's what's going on.
Lots of advantages. Yeah.
Are you ready for Minecraft?
I'm ready. Yeah.
Let's start building.
We'll have to get into it. I've only played once, so it's time to dive deeper, and especially since we're going to have our own server.
It's important. It's going to be nice having...
Let us know in the comments if any of you play Minecraft, if that's something you guys would be interested in.
Yeah, even if you're watching this after the fact.
Joining our Minecraft server. Yeah. And like we said before, if you if you have any questions about cloud native, edge computing, drop it in the comments, and we'll answer next week during Fridays on the Edge.
And we're probably also going to build Phantasy Star Online after Minecraft.
That's what I'm like most excited about.
Me too. I'm super excited about Phantasy Star.
That takes me back.
Oh, right.
That was like one of the only... Okay, so my brother was a gamer, and he, my brother, who actually builds those tridents that we showed you earlier, that will be the Minecraft server. He has been a gamer since forever, you know, Game Boy and like Super Nintendo, and he had Phantasy Star on, what was it, like the GameCube or something? Or was it? Yeah, okay, GameCube. And it was like one of the only games that I like really played that much with him when I was a kid. I watched him I watched him play a lot of like Zelda and stuff like that. But it was one of the few that I actually like played with him, because you got to like make your own character, and it was like, I feel like it was one of the old, like, first games that I ever saw that you could get in and like really make like super detailed character with like the hair and the hair color, and the eyes and the eye color and like the skin color.
Change your height,
everything.
Be shorter, taller,
whatever. Be shorter, tall, and there were like maybe different classes of like, you know, people you could be. And I just was robot. Like super into that. It was like so much fun. So I made a character. I probably spent about I don't know, probably a third of the time that I actually spent playing with it was like working on my character, but
style priorities.
But yeah, so I'm excited now that I actually, like, as an adult became a little more of a gamer. I'm excited to play Phantasy Star Online.
It'll be fun.
It'll be good.
We've been playing some Warframe, but that'll be a fun one. So yeah, so after we finish building Minecraft, I feel like Phantasy Star is more of something that we're just building also because we just want to build it.
Yeah, proud of it.
And one of the best things about what we're building is, like, we use the resources that we've built ourselves, so like we have our own internet connections and all that stuff, and while we don't have like unlimited bandwidth or anything like that, we have enough to just like host like things with the group and stuff like that. And so like, because we're not hosting on like AWS or Azure or Google Cloud, if people are playing with us, like, as long as we paid for our data plan and it's accommodating to what we're trying to accomplish, like, it doesn't really matter. Like, we don't have to pay extra money just to be able to, like, host people playing our games and be like, oh, well, we can host as many users as we can figure out how to host, which is a complicated thing. It's easier said than done, of course, but, you know, all the things.
Super cool.
I'm excited.
So maybe we should talk just for, like, really briefly about why... You know, we have, like, so the Trident is obviously, like, something that can be an enterprise tool. Why is it useful to also, like, show that you can, you know, build, like, a gaming server on it? Oh,
yeah. So, like, business apps, most business apps require less power to run than, like, gaming applications. And generally speaking, like, gamers, the difference between, like, gaming applications versus, like, business applications is... a lot of gaming applications, especially ones that don't run like 24/7, so like you'll notice like MMORPGs tend to have lesser graphics than, say, a game like The Last of Us with like beautifully fleshed out graphics and all this stuff. Mm-hmm. Well, when you have like these highly sophisticated games doing like these crazy complicated things, if you can like run a game at extreme settings for long periods of time and the system not go stable or go unstable, like games basically are capable of pushing systems to their limits to see like how stable is a system going to be, how well is it going to operate, like can it handle a lot of user utilization, can we like in the Minecraft server, can we like make the biggest world we can and really push the limits of every single inch of the infrastructure that we're playing with and all this stuff, and see what it looks like to scale the hardware. And so with business infrastructure, it's usually so anticlimactic that maybe you build a website and then you're like, okay, let's try to get some users to the website, and then you're like, okay, let's go stress test this website. Then you're trying to get like users on your website, and then finally in a month you're finally getting 10 users on your website a day, and you're like, come on, almost 1% utilization. And so you have no idea how much you need to scale or how well it's going to scale. And it's hard to test like your business applications because you're going to be able to host like 10 people a day on a website on like most hosting things, like great. Right. But if you want to know, like, are you going to be able to host a whole bunch of people, and then if things get a little crazy, or if you have like glitches, or if you have like one site go down and stuff like that, if Minecraft survives outages, then you better believe any business application is going to survive outages.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then
definitely
we're going to use self-healing hard drives. And so
it's a good way to just kind of stress test all of what we're doing.
See what it's like to run Minecraft on self-healing edge-based hard drives that are Iscsi. That's insane. No one even knows what that means. No, someone knows what that is. So you know how we have like that box right there that's like a NAS?
Our NAS, yeah. Which we need to get up and running.
That is a little different from what you would otherwise consider a SAN. And I guess some NASs can have SAN functionality. I guess it depends on what you're building or whatever. But Iscsi is sort of like a driver type on hardware, where basically you have like a network attachable drive that can act a little more appropriately as like running an operating system on it or something along those lines, or treating it like a physical hard drive that's like attachable and plug-inable. I don't know if you notice, like on the network drive that we use, there are limitations to what you can do with it versus like a drive that you plug into your computer with USB-C. Iscsi kind of makes it to where it's a lot closer to like just plugging in a hard drive physically over a network, all that crazy stuff.
Sure.
So for those who want to know what Iscsi is, you could look more up about it. Let's see how close I was. Let's Google Iscsi. How do you secure a system like that? That's a very good question. So while I'm pulling up Iscsi, honestly, configurations are important for setting things up. I would say if you're building cloud infrastructure, it's important to create what's called like a golden host, because if you want to build security and you're building cloud implies that you're going to have more than one system, which you could think of it as having more than one computers. So having more than one computer work together as one, obviously the second you have like 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 100 systems, you could imagine it's probably a lot harder to make modifications, updates, changes to things. And so if you want to keep them up to date, then what you can do is you can use things like GitLab, you can use tools like Puppet, and then you can use tools like Terraform, where basically you use what's called infrastructure as code, where you save the configurations of what your perfect host looks like your golden host. So you build a host first, make sure that host has the configurations you like, and then you go and find something like Terraform, and you Google how to make Terraform like turn that configured host into code. And then forevermore you can automatically have whatever that host was just automatically built, and then you can use tools like GitLab to like keep them automatically updated. So by just keeping like configurations and the future in mind helps keep an environment more secure right away, because the number one thing that makes new environments less secure is misconfigurations I'm sure there are other things, but that's a big one.
That makes sense, yeah.
So let's see. Let's look for the Google Wikipedia definition of Iscsi or whatever.
Oh, okay. Iscsi. I was not picturing the word to look like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe I'll drop the Iscsi
Wikipedia link in there.
Wiki link in the comments section.
So you can see how it's spelled.
And Wikipedia is maybe not the most reliable, but these days Wikipedia is pretty decently reliable. Oh my, look at that giant...
It's telling you the article has multiple issues, just as you're saying it's reliable. Well, but the thing about it is, like, it tells you if something's not vetted, so at least you know if there's something in there that seems sketchy, it might be sketchy.
Yeah, so Wikipedia is kind of...
It's a good place to start your research, but...
yeah, so don't take Wikipedia like...
the Wikipedia entry.
Yeah, if you're doing, like, dedicated research, please be aware that Wikipedia should not be your like, this is what I'm going to follow as, like, law. Like, don't do that. So, this says, in computing, Iscsi is an acronym for Internet Small Computer Systems Interface. So let's see, let me skim through this a little further. So it provides block level access to storage devices by carrying small computer system interfaces commands over a network. Oh yeah, so there you go. So that would make sense because a SAN has a small computer system interface. That makes sense. So what is
a SAN versus a NAS?
Well, a NAS is designed to work as like a network drive in general, and so if you then want to apply what's called Iscsi functionality to a NAS, then the NAS has to have compatibility with this small computer systems interface, basically.
I see.
And so it's a little different. What it does is that driver, you can think of it as like a driver, or sometimes if you want to add Iscsi to something, it makes it to where those network drives act and behave as if they're just physically being plugged into the device instead of like remotely accessing something over a network.
Sure.
I wonder if there's anything else that explains a little better, or at least a little less confusing. Iscsi is a complicated. Here's probably a better. I'll just let you all read this. This is a good one. Okay, paste that there. Boom. Sweet. That's a good one. So this is probably a little more appropriate. But there's a little diagram here. If you open the link that I just added, the link that I created is this one that says searchstorage.techtarget.com.
Yeah.
Go find that link. Open that link. You will find that there is a diagram that's a pretty nice diagram that says Iscsi SAN deployment, and it shows what it is. So in the case of our environment, this looks a whole lot like what we have. This shows Iscsi SAN, and it shows that there are two little highlighted things here, which is kind of like two drives, and then you have an Iscsi initiator and an Iscsi. That's like what our Trident looks like. And then our Trident then has a system that runs on top of this, inside of this Iscsi SAN, which is an edge device at that point, which is a whole nother animal. But the SAN side of what we have, oh wow, we actually built a genuine SAN.
Wow.
Who knew? So for those who did not know, we authentically built, the Trident includes an authentic Iscsi SAN inside of it. And I just discovered that just by double checking that I understand what Iscsi SAN is. I was like, that's a lot like a SAN. It is a SAN.
It is a SAN.
So there you go.
There you go. Well, what do you think?
I think we're good for today.
I think we had a great time.
We're gonna wrap it up.
We should drop one more link into the comments, which is for the DevSecOps Dojo page on our website. So if you want to learn more about that group, if all of this is fascinating to you and you want to know more, click the link at the top. Yeah, there you go. And this page outlines all of the information that you would need and also has an application at the bottom. Our dojo right now we are taking applications, but slots are like incredibly limited because we're it's kind of a group of. It's a small group.
We're keeping the dojo small, so even if we get 10 applicants, we care more about the quality of what we're providing more than just trying to get maximum dollar. And the dues that people pay are designed to go into us providing service for you, the user. So it's a little spendy. It's $150 a month. There are reasons for that. We actually do some actual work for you, and we provide you actual assets in the dojo as well, and we let you use our assets as well. Yeah. So,
and that also includes weekly live sessions on Thursdays.
So we're not letting in every applicant, but we're going to be letting in at least 2 applicants.
Right applicants.
And then, depending on how things go, we're going to open up for interviews. And if we decide to bring in more than just 2 applicants, it'll be based on how the interviews go. Another question is, what are the latest updates on the Olympiad? So the Olympiad, we are actually building a manual deployment of it because it's really designed as a business tool, which we used it for business ourselves to also make sure that it's usable for business. And how did we use the Olympiad for business? We built a white paper for the earliest iteration of the Olympiad, like it's V1, I guess, very manual, and it was designed to be like, how can we deliver courses that required educational lab stuff, the resources.
Yeah.
So
hardware.
Yeah, so we went ahead and we just send the labs to people, and with a paired workshop. And that was how we first started using the Olympiad. Now, what the Olympiad is turning into is we now have a business deployment for the people doing what we started doing with it to make sure that it actually works as intended and can deliver on what was intended, which is providing services that involve, like, do you need to deliver labs somehow for education purposes? If the answer is yes, that's where it began. Now it's, hey, do you want to educate or have like developer space and resources for like test development? Do you want to build minimum viable products, things like that? The Olympiad is at the point where we manually deploy that as a service at this time. The code is all open source, and that's being packaged and released still. So there will be an actual download and installer of the Olympiad at some point.
Coming soon.
But of course, we're just super busy, so we're not putting like any time frames on that release per se for the packaged version. We're just more focused on quality delivery to our clients, and that matters more than trying to just like we're just focusing on quality right now.
Yeah.
We just want to make good stuff. If I'm blunt, that's all we want. So. Yeah.
Cool. Well, thanks everyone for coming to Fridays on the Edge. Thanks for watching. Even if you're watching later, we still appreciate it. Once again, if you have any questions or comments, leave them down below and we will address them in the beginning of the next episode, of our next Fridays on the Edge hangout sesh here in the Cloud Underground Facebook group. Cloud Native Engineers. Yeah. Thanks, Engineers, for stopping by, and we'll see you next Friday.
Take care, everyone, and have a great weekend.
Yeah.